UV lights are one of the coolest things that you can add to your AC system to help out with the indoor air quality inside your house. The good ones on the market can take out 99% of E. coli, SARS, mold, and bacteria going through your AC system. And they can actually keep mold from growing on the inside of your system, whether it's on the blower, the insulation around the cabinet, or the coil itself. Well, how is that important to you? It's going to get sucked up by the return, it's going to change temperature on the indoor unit, whether you want it hotter or colder, and then it's going to dispense out of your ductwork into your living area, meaning your breathing space. So if your indoor unit is compromised by bacteria or mold, that's going to now be in your breathing air as it goes through the system. Now that stuff can happen at any time, and we want to prevent that. So today we're going to be talking about the Nu-Calgon Scorpion. Now this is one of the most advanced UV lights that I've seen on the market because it utilizes LED technology instead of a regular ballast and bulb system. Now inside the Scorpion box, it's very simple. Here's your power cord, and here is your unit. Honestly, this thing is super simple. You have a really powerful magnet. You have a couple of holes that you can use to put a screw through if you want to. You have your switches right here. Off is in the middle. Always on is down, and then cycle will actually turn the bulb on when it senses airflow. Now, unlike other brands, you can actually touch this. This is metal with all of your LED diodes on it, and these LEDs produce a seriously blue light that will burn your eyes and your skin. So do not look at this unless you are behind something protective. In fact, don't even look at it at all. I'll make sure it's only powered up when the system is closed up and you won't be exposed to it. The one thing I like the most about this robust design on the base of the Scorpion is the built-in magnet, because it means I can mount it anywhere. Meaning I can mount it above my blower very solidly, and it can shine directly into the wheel, keeping the wheel clean from anything that wants to grow on the actual cups itself. Or I can take it off of there, man, that magnet really sticks, and I can mount it shining on top of my A coil right here or on the bottom. Man, that magnet is really strong. Now, while I can't put it at the top of the A coil or next to the blower, I want to use this in place of my old lamp that's inside of this media cabinet. Now, surprisingly, this lamp still works, but I need to take the door off and get that thing completely out so that I can replace it with the Scorpion. This bulb actually did really well for a really long time. I've only replaced it once, and I replaced it about a year after it was installed, and it has remained on since then, but it's gotten dimmer over the years. It did its job, but I don't want to replace it again because, one, the bulb is quite expensive. It's got this whole ballast system. It's older technology. It's just not as efficient as it used to be. And I am ready to upgrade. Yeah, that is hot. And get away from this old stuff and bring it into the modern new stuff. Alright, should be able to fold this back. That won't be used again. Take this filter out. I need a new filter. I'll have to pick one up tomorrow. This is where the media filter sits. This is the old ballast. I'm just going to leave that hooked up. This is the bracket that used to hold the old bulb, but looks like it did its job. My coil is very clean. Now the goal is to stick the new unit over there and have it shining inside this coil area. When it comes to the cycle I'm going to use, I'm going to leave it on all the time. Set it up right there, stick it right to the metal. Now that it's mounted, I'm going to pop the door off the other side right here, and I'm going to run the wire over to the control board. This one is wrapping around. That's on plastic inside of jagged edges. All I need to do is grab my end, run it into the control area. Come on. And then hook it up. Hooking the device up to power is just as easy as connecting it to the R and C on the control board or hooking to its own transformer. I recommend putting it on a transformer, but for this sake I'm going to hook it to the control board because I want to see how many of these I can put onto the control board before I have an issue with the fuse. Don't worry about which one goes to R and C, these are not color coded. Let's power it up. Should have some light. That's a nice blue. Let's set up the camera and look at it even better. Hope that blue looks good. Just to let you know, I set this camera up on a tripod. Do not look at this with your bare eyes or let that light touch your skin. Now let's compare this one to a couple of the other ones on the market. Now this one is a complete unit in itself. This bottom piece is the actual ballast, and up here is the bulb. Inside of it is actually a glass bulb, which you will need a screwdriver to replace because that was actually extremely annoying. There we go, here's the glass bulb. Obviously there's a difference between glass and LED, just like there was a difference between the glass incandescent bulbs in your house and LEDs. LEDs last much longer. These that use a filament at the bottom, these do not last as long. This particular model, the most I've ever gotten out of them is probably around 2 years. Plus it's pretty bulky and you have to cut into the system, whether it's the supply plane or the return, to have the bulb shine on whatever surface you're looking for, meaning this particular ballast itself is prone to sweat if it's left in the supply plenum uninsulated. This rubber will prevent air transfer, but you will not prevent heat transfer between the metal inside the ballast, which can be taken out in sweat, and the supply plenum if it's sitting inside of there. Now another system that gets used a lot is this type of system where it has a magnet that's set to a bracket, and then you install a bulb through this ring, and the bulb is just big chillin' inside of the system. Like so. The problem is, these don't last as long either. What I don't like about it is it's just an exposed bulb. The bulbs do not last very long. They're not the cheapest things in the world. And you actually have to have a separate ballast in order to power the bulb. So you're gonna end up with 3 components: a transformer, a ballast that you have to find where to put this, and the bulb itself. You might be wondering why I bring up a time frame so much. Well, the truth is, these things are not cheap. It's no secret. Those 2 glass bulb systems that I showed you, if they're running 24 hours a day, they're running 8,700 hours a year, meaning they're running about 17,000 hours within 2 years. That's a lot of time in 2016. But today we have new technology. Now that's just from what I've seen, because the packaging on those systems don't actually tell you what the lifespan of the bulbs are. They just tell you it has a 1-year warranty and a 5-year ballast warranty. The Scorpion, on the other hand, tells you that it has a 30,000 hour runtime. Now let's compare the two. One's a glass bulb, one's an LED system. One runs at max about 17,000 hours, this one runs about 30,000 hours, and they're relatively the same price. Which one makes more sense? If you want to check the system out, there will be a link down below in the description. And thank you, Nu-Calgon, for sending this out and giving me a chance to replace that old one that I had in my system for so long. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.